Right now, not because you're muted. Yes, I think you can share now.
Yes. So, can you move?
Okay, I'll be.
Yeah, I'm audible. Okay. So, basically, our main aim is to programmatically label the read number cells in the CD30 slides initially. So, I and Shridhar went through a WSI and labeled some 60 slides, some 60 RS cells and 60 non-examples of RS cells. So now we basically have the embedded data, and now we have to generate some candidate labeling functions. So these labeling functions would be small ML models that would, and then we would use Snorkel to select an appropriate distribution of those models, and then label and train the model further, and then we would get the end model.
But why
But
are we
in
using snorkel? Why are we using snorkel? Why
Snorkel
do
is
we have?
to collaborate all. Snorkel is just
But
for the
we already have
label
Spear,
model.
right? We already have Spear for that. We have a platform for that. Why do we have to use snorkel? Because we have a much more robust aggregation model. I don't see any reason why we are using snorkel.
Okay, okay. Then we would switch to Spear.
Yeah, please
Uh,
switch to Spear. There's no, I mean, snorkel, we find it very flaky. In fact, that's the reason we in fact tried using snorkel for a while, but it was a futile effort, and it's very flaky.
okay, okay. So, the idea was to have multiple labeling functions that are ML models of their own. So now we basically have three types of choices that we could use for our labeling functions. So they could be pre-trained models, they could be shallow CNNs, and they could be classical models. That's random forest, single vector machine, etc. So since the labeling functions are to be trained on very small subsets of data, so it was recommended that we use shallow models or rather simple models, but multiple ones. But I couldn't find much text on that. Text on using labeling functions for images. Using training labeling functions for images rather. So basically, I wasn't sure as to how many labeling functions should we use and which models should we use to for aggregating data.
Sorry, what is your question? Snorkel's integration. Anyway, Snorkel is not
Yeah, yeah,
out of the picture. I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
Venkat,
Yeah.
you have not talked to
So
Venkat, is it so far? I mean, this looks like a little
yes,
automated.
yes, I had texted Venkat sir and he had suggested Snorkel. That's why I went through it. But yes, we didn't discuss in detail regarding generating candidate labeling functions. So that's what I was a bit unsure about as to which models should we use as labeling functions. Since we are generating labeling functions using unlabeled images, just using a small subset of labeled images.
Mm. So what is your question? Still not clear. If you have used, let's say, Spear, we create our own model that will function as LFs. Experiment with pre-trained models, shallow. And so what is your question?
So the question
Hello.
need multiple labeling functions for aggregation with Spear later on. But
Mhm.
those labeling functions, should they be pre-trained models? Should they be shallow CRMs? or should they be classical ML models? Or should I try and test all of them? So I wasn't sure about that. And how many of them should be there? I mean, labeling
So what
functions could
these
be
labeling
5, could
functions
be
supposed to
7,
do?
could be 10.
They're supposed to do segmentation, right? They're supposed to do
Yes,
segmentation.
yes, right. Yes, right.
Yeah. By the way, Vika is 45 days from today. I mean, I hope we can try and submit something there. And one
Actually,
possibility.
that is the intention, Professor Ganesh.
Yeah, but for that we should do make some technical contribution also. And to me, an interesting technical contribution would be aggregating labeling functions for
Yes,
segmentation, and not just for
yes,
classification, right? So I would say then go
yes,
ahead
yes,
and
yes.
do that in Spear. Do that in Spear. In fact, write multiple aggregation functions which are segmentation based and not reduce. So I know Venkat in some other project he tried a very a surrogate which is do pixel wise classification instead of segmentation. I would say you should really target segmentation directly and aggregation of multiple labeling functions for segmentation. That has not happened, and that will be a very nice technical contribution. And
Yeah.
there's a good,
So
very strong motivation we have.
we would basically require an algorithm like YOLO, but for whole slide
So
images, right?
YOLO is for no, YOLO. You mean algorithm in the sense objective function like YOLO?
Yes, an object detection function, but for whole slide images, right?
Yeah, object detection
Yeah,
function
okay.
for whole slide images where you need a YOLO like objective function.
Yeah, right.
So
So yes,
that generalizes the objectives functions of cage. So cage is just a second. I'm just sending you the links on the WhatsApp group itself. So maybe you can even open them there. Mm,
so this method is right? Basically using machine learning models as labeling functions and then aggregating them using Sphere for final segmentation task.
right.
Yeah, but using label aggregations, right? Multiple labeling functions using label aggregation, so as to do segmentation.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so I'm just sending you the really critical parts of case that you should read. So I've sent you that on the link the chat. Oh, did you get the link on the Hangouts group?
For this project, we do not have an Hangouts group.
Well, I mean the chat the.
Yeah, I can see you typing, so probably it will come up. Yeah.
It didn't come up so far, is it? Okay, I just sent it.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sending a couple of messages.
Okay. It's here.
It's come. Okay, it's come. Okay. Oh, something else has
Yes,
come.
it's come here.
Oh no.
Yeah, some
went-
snapshot of something else. Yeah.
Okay, let me just send it again.
But the PDF link has come, Professor Ganesh.
Yeah, but I think that's not the one.
Okay.
I mean, what I wanted is send the equations as snapshot. So then come out properly. Let me enlarge it. So this training case, section 2.1 is what you should read. That's what I wanted to send a snapshot of. And now it has come. And semi-supervised extensions are the same.
So our method won't use semi-supervised learning, right? We would just use aggregation to label the final data, and then
Yeah, we
would we
won't use
retrain our
semi-supervised,
model?
but you won't use semi-supervised, right? That's for the immediate. This is, I think, step one. And ideally, semi-supervised extensions are the same. I'm just saying that will make the work stronger. Of course, if you do it for one, you can do it for semi-supervision. So why, I mean, why not make the paper stronger? That's all. But the key is, hello?
We can hear you, Professor Ganesh.
Yeah, this is for object detection. For our task of object detection as against cage, which was only classification. And ideally we also want a semi-supervised one. Semi-supervised, yeah, that objective is actually there in section 3.3. There you can see all the. So I think the key is if we can extend this for detection. I think this will be a strong contribution. Why don't you propose a loss function as soon as possible? Is that fine? Hello?
You weren't audible. Can you repeat?
I'm saying a very nice thing, a nice contribution for Mikai would be extending space, and this is independent of the data set we have with Tata Memorial, right? I mean that's a motivation, but actually this problem itself is very interesting.
Yes,
So
right.
it's a very generic problem. So can you propose an objective function along the lines of what I have shared, which does aggregation? See, you can always have a surrogate which says pixel wise classification and therefore I'll do aggregation. But you're very correct. You need an YOLO kind of generalization. Can you do that quickly?
Yes, yes. We have created the data set, so let's try to do it soon. We can do it for a simple model, but labeling function aggregation would take some time. I'm working on a simple model for YOLO type classification, but that won't be that accurate. But I guess for starters, to set up the framework, that should be fine.
For starters, you'll do YOLO type classification, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can you open the YOLO objective? Let's discuss that. If you can open the YOLO objective.
I did not get it. YOLO objective.
YOLO objective function. YOLO's objective function. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, he's doing it, Professor Ganesh.
Okay. If you can open YOLO's objective function. Yeah, we can go down. Yes, multi-part optimization objective. Yeah, can you enlarge it a bit? This is exactly what. So I mean, this does of course resonate a lot with what we've been trying with Sphere. Lots of objectives, but now we should look at so xi hat yi yi hat, right? and that's for the first part is the object detection, right? Or rather segmentation.
Yes,
Is that
yes.
correct? And the second one, WI, this is also to do with the size, width and height. CIs are classes, isn't it? CIs are class representations.
Yes, sir. And P should be the probability, uh, and the confidence, sir.
Yes, 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 yes. I think this itself will be a nice contribution if we extend, right? Gives a very strong starting point. Can both of so this could be a contribution from both, right? So Akshit and Atharva could run marathon race on this towards Mikai. I think this will be having a strong USP. What do you suggest? Hello?
Actually, Atharva is working on these PET-CT images. I agree that they could work together, but I think Akshit can also do this alone, along with some R&D student that we have, right, Professor
Yeah, we just
Ganesh?
need to move fast because it will be
Yeah,
a opportunity missed if
right,
we
right,
don't push it in time, because Mikai is 45 days.
right,
Perfect.
right. Yeah, actually, Akshit is now every day in my office and is working from my office every day.
Okay, great.
So he's doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, Akshit. I hope you can really um, had to work day and night to make the Mikai submission happen. This will be strong. What you could do, for example, here is now these labeling functions. What we have, what Venkat had been presenting. My understanding, they would typically may not. They may actually give you XII, YI is multiple, right? So you have one more summation. So there will be three summations here, right? Hello.
Apart from that, which one? There are.
For labeling function, we could have indices in the YOLO
Right,
objective. Hello.
right. So,
Coming from multiple. So there could be multiple labeling functions corresponding to both classification and detection, right? Okay. So will you
So
have?
there'll be some label.
Yeah, are they
Sorry.
all going to be? Are they all going to be segmentation only, or some of them may also be classification?
So right now, since he was working on this whole slide image data set of whole slide images from Tata, he was only looking at segmentation. But if we shift to YOLO, then we could also look at classification, right?
Yes.
His current labeling functions are only on segmentation. Right, Akshat?
yes, currently the labeling functions are to identify whether a specific place is RSL or not. We
I
just
mean,
have to detect RSLs
yeah.
among in the whole slide image. That's
So
the
by the
task.
way, I mean Venkat has bunch of other applications even in OCR which demand the same, right? So uh, one possibility is Kshitij, I mean if see, one possibility is we can also put together other students I have just so that we don't get distracted from the main problem for Tata Memorial, right?
Right.
We continue tackling that problem, and we also, I mean, this will obviously help, right? But this has implications beyond just detection. So we should probably continue doing detection and classification detection primarily, but there are many other applications which require detection and classification.
Right.
Okay, maybe we'll take this separately as well. I mean, in addition to doing this as a this being applied to the Hodgkin lymphoma project.
Right.
Okay.
So could I ask Akshat to summarize, because we bounced a few ideas around. Yeah, Akshat.
So basically, wait, I'll share that screen again. Yeah, so basically, we are using labeling functions, small ML models as labeling functions, and then we would use peer to aggregate all of them, and then our main objective is to identify RS cells in the whole slide image. So we would use an all maybe YOLO or some algorithm for segmentation and detecting RS cells in the whole slide image. So currently we are working on a classification model to basically identify if a certain image has RSL or not, is of an RSL or not. But afterwards we would move on to segmentation as well.
Okay.
But it would also, if you are trying to target MECA, then we also have to look towards working, starting to work with the YOLO objective, because it will take substantial time, right?
Yes.
Rather, I think if we start working with the YOLO objective, the thing that we want to do with RS cells will be covered anyways. So it becomes a subpart of this bigger problem
So
that we
are
are
you saying
looking at.
you start with YOLO itself, YOLO
Yeah, I
framework?
was thinking.
Start-
Yeah, because what again, from a technical perspective, we don't yet have the ethics committee approval, right? So we won't be able to utilize any data that we generate using RS cells for a submission, right? So from that perspective also, I was thinking if we could start working with a YOLO objective, it could be useful.
Yeah, I mean whether it's YOLO or whether it's peer. I mean, for me it's not about the image use case. I'm really talking about the code base. We could also bring
Right.
the spear, bring the YOLO objective into
Exactly.
spear. That's all I'm saying. I'm not stuck on the downstream application, and my question is more about the code base. Should we
Right.
work with
Right.
Spear or should we work with YOLO? And bring the YOLO objective into Spear or bring the Spear labeling functions framework into YOLO?
Okay.
That we'll have to quickly decide.
Right. Right.
I personally believe it's better to do it in Spear because you may not need everything in YOLO. We may, right? For example, if we may only want to do the segmentation, in which case many other parts in YOLO may become redundant. And writing
So
labeling
what
functions
would be
is
the,
main focus
yeah,
here, right?
sorry.
So,
Right.
go ahead.
Sorry. So what would be the potential pipeline? Like if Akshit has to work towards this objective of, uh, it's currently working with the data set from Tata. So what would be the potential objective?
So we are not able to we were able to run down the data from Tata, right? Is that we are not able to publish about it,
Yes.
but
Yet, yet.
we can still get the diagnosis done, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. We
All
can
that,
identify RS cells, right? Yeah.
yes, and we can get expert opinion.
Yes, we can do that. So Subhash is here on the call. Yes.
Yes, yes. Hello, Dr. Subhash. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize who was on the call.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just listening the conversation.
Okay. Um, so Venkat couldn't join today. Wish him.
Yeah, should I call him for a moment and I'll just
Yeah,
insist?
just call him,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah,
he knows
I'll do
this
that.
problem. He knows it very well.
Okay, I'll do that.
We have encountered this several times.
Yeah, I'll do that.
But he's going to be busy actually till this month end. That's the only concern.
Yeah, the thing is, with other students also, we are working on something like this, but I think he can just quickly drop in for 5 minutes, suggest, and then
Yeah,
go back, right? Yeah.
sure, sure.
Professor Ganesh, what I could suggest is I think he had told me that he'll be in another meeting right now with some students. So we could actually discuss this offline and come back to you. Is that okay?
Yeah, but I can communicate this best with Venkat. If you can join for a few minutes also, right?
Yeah, I'm
You
actually
struggle to
calling him.
communicate.
Yeah.
In the time, Atharva, would you like to present so that we have a continuity to the CD presentation as well? Yeah, Atharva, get started while Venkat join.
Yes, so from the last time, the thing which I presented was that we are working on calculating SUV for each organs. So before that, we created code for organ detection in thorax region, and now we had objective to get SUV for each organ in the thorax region. For that, I had meeting with Dr. Ashish today morning, and I am working on the code to get it. Yeah, so get SUV for each organ.
And what are you doing? You are implementing a standard SUV detection algorithm, SUV optic detection.
Yeah, SUV detection, SUV calculation code is already ready. Right now, we are focusing on SUV for each organ specifically. For example, heart, lungs, rib cage, and vertebra. And similarly, we'll be doing this for other organs as well in other sections like abdomen, head, neck, and legs.
Okay, fine. Fine.
I tried calling Venkat on both, and I think he's deep into some meeting. He's not picking up. Hello?
Okay, let's get started. I mean, Atharva was presenting his work. So
Okay.
anything else we should discuss on Atharva's front?
Yeah, so the thing is with Atharva, we have been trying to get hold of Ashish for a week now, and it materialized just today. Atharva, I have observed that has been trying to follow up continuously, and just 2 hours back they were able to interact. Yeah, that's the update on that front. For the PET images, as per last discussion that happened, Hasmukh was going to get some resident on at their end involved to identify certain potential features that can be extracted based on the PET information that we are processing right now. So next week, somebody from TMH side is going to present.
So what they'll effectively present is the algorithm they currently use to make that consumes the SUV uptake values.
No. So what they will present is now that we are able to identify the organs and the SUV max or SUV values in each of the organs. This is something they also identify based on their current information. What Dr. Hasmukh had said last time is that they wanted to discuss other potential features that can be extracted based on the PET data that we are processing. Uh, so for that, I had said that if somebody at their end presents what features can be extracted based on the PET data, then actually we could brainstorm on how programmatically this information can be extracted
So
by
Dr.
Atharva.
Ashish shared that already.
No. So that is something that somebody from TMH is going
No, but
to.
I thought you had a call with Dr. Ashish today morning, right?
Yeah, so that call was to basically Atharva wanted to discuss with Dr. Ashish as to how does he overlap the organ CT information with the PET CT information, because there are different number of PET images and CT images. So to find the corresponding images, he had this conversation after a week actually, that how do they identify the corresponding PET and CT images. So that happened just now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I have checked with Atharva continuously. He has been trying to get in touch. For some or the other reason, it did not happen. But from
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So Kshitij, why don't you and Akshit touch base with Venkat?
Yes.
This would be really nice for Nikai.
Yeah.
I hope it's clear, Akshit, right?
Akshit, are you able to hear? Just a moment, Professor Ganesh. So Professor Ganesh asked if it is clear what he said.
So, because we don't have time, we need clarity quickly.
Right.
We'll spend.
Yes. Just a moment, Professor Ganesh. We quickly join again. Yeah. Yeah, he's coming on board again. Something went wrong in his Wi-Fi. Would you come here, Akshit?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Yes, Akshit. If you want to just summarize. Okay, we're wasting a lot of time. Hello, can't you hear me?
The volume is not increasing.
Hello. Can you not hear me? Kshitij, you can't hear me, is it?
Hello, am I
Kshitij,
audible now?
you are
Yes,
audible.
sir. Yeah, I came from Shridhar sir's laptop. I'm actually in his office itself. So I was a bit unsure as to what our primary objective is now for Mikai. It's segmenting RS cells specifically or something else.
So segmenting RSL is something is we can't publish about until we have
Yeah,
everything in
right.
place, right? Kshitij has already
Yes,
mentioned that.
right.
So
Yes,
it is
right.
the algorithmic part. We're getting the algorithm in shape, and we can do that on existing YOLO data sets. There are many other applications. This has lots of applications. We
Oh,
can do it
okay,
on
okay.
publicly available data sets, and this is something we
Yeah,
were
right.
anyways wanting to do.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Okay, okay.
So how to aggregate the labeling functions for complex tasks like segmentation, and YOLO is perfectly fit for that. So
Yeah.
right.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So you're going to have a call with I've already put the messages on the group. I hope you could read that. The specific papers, the specific sections which I think are relevant, and YOLO obviously you already have the paper, right?
Yes, right.
Ideally, we should do unsupervised and then first cage, and then if possible also semi-supervised. That will be ideal.
Yeah, okay, understood.
But if but at the least we should get it very nicely ironed out for unsupervised. Kshitij, we should maybe start writing it up so that writing is not an afterthought. Make
Right.
sure that there's clarity even before we implement.
Right. Sure. Okay. Sure. Great. Thank you.
Okay then. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Subhash. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Subhash.
Thanks.